Did you know that growing certain plants in your garden could land you in serious legal trouble? While many plants can beautify your landscape and provide food, others are strictly prohibited due to various health, safety, and environmental reasons. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating and somewhat shocking world of plants that are illegal to grow in the USA. Whether you're an avid gardener or just starting out, it's crucial to know which plants to avoid to stay on the right side of the law. We'll explore the specific plants that are banned, the reasons behind their prohibition, and the potential consequences of cultivating them. Stick around to learn how to keep your garden both beautiful and legal. Let's get started. Some plants are illegal to grow in the USA due to a variety of critical reasons that revolve around health, safety, and environmental protection. Firstly, health and safety concerns play a significant role. Certain plants possess toxic properties that can pose serious health risks to humans and animals. For example, plants like poison hemlock and castor beans are notorious for their deadly toxins, which can be fatal if ingested or improperly handled. These plants are banned to prevent accidental poisoning and ensure public safety. Invasive species also contribute to the list of illegal plants. Some plants are prohibited because they are invasive and pose a threat to local ecosystems. These invasive species can outcompete native plants, disrupt habitats, and lead to a loss of biodiversity. Plants like Kudzu and Japanese knotweed are prime examples, as they spread aggressively and are challenging to control once established, leading to significant ecological and economic damage. Drug control laws are another reason certain plants are banned. Plants that are used to produce controlled substances, such as cannabis, in states where it is not yet legalized, and coca plants are illegal to cultivate. These regulations are in place to prevent the production and distribution of illegal drugs, which have far-reaching implications for public health and safety. Environmental protection measures also play a crucial role in the prohibition of certain plants. To protect native species and maintain biodiversity, some plants are banned from cultivation. For instance, plants that can hybridize with native species, leading to genetic dilution or the displacement of native plants, are restricted. Additionally, certain plants that alter soil composition or water availability in a way that harms local flora and fauna are also subject to legal restrictions. The following are just some of the plants that are illegal to grow within U.S. territories. Khat is a plant native to East Africa and the Arabian Peninsula, known for its stimulating properties due to the presence of cathinone and cathine. These compounds are structurally similar to amphetamines and provide stimulating effects when chewed. People in countries such as Somalia, Ethiopia, and Yemen traditionally chew the leaves of the Khat plant to experience increased alertness, excitement, and euphoria. This practice is a cultural and social activity in these regions, often integrated into daily routines and social gatherings. In the United States, cathinone and cathine are classified as controlled substances under the Controlled Substances Act. This means that the cultivation, distribution, and possession of Khat are illegal. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, categorizes cathinone as a Schedule I drug, which signifies that it has a high potential for abuse, no currently accepted medical use and treatment, and a lack of accepted safety for use under medical supervision. Cathine is classified as a Schedule IV drug, indicating a lower potential for abuse relative to substances in Schedules 1, Sec 2, and 3, but still requiring regulation. The stimulating effects of Khat, similar to those of amphetamines, raise significant concerns over abuse and dependency. The plant's active compounds can lead to increased heart rate, blood pressure, and risk of cardiovascular issues. Long-term use has been associated with dental problems, gastrointestinal disorders, and mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. Due to these health risks and the potential for addiction, federal law in the United States strictly prohibits the growth, use, and distribution of Khat. Despite these legal restrictions, Khat is sometimes smuggled into the United States and sold illegally within certain communities that have cultural ties to regions where Khat chewing is traditional. Law enforcement agencies continue to monitor and intercept these activities to prevent the illegal distribution and use of Khat, reflecting the ongoing challenges in managing the plant's potential for misuse and the health risks associated with its consumption. The international perspective on Khat varies, with some countries enforcing strict bans, while others tolerate or regulate its use. In the United Kingdom, for example, Khat was legal until 2014, when it was classified as a Class C drug under the Misuse of Drugs Act. The decision to ban Khat in the UK was influenced by concerns over its health impacts and social consequences, as well as international pressure and alignment with policies in other European countries. Peyote is a small, spineless cactus native to southwestern Texas and Mexico, renowned for its psychoactive properties due to the presence of the hallucinogenic alkaloid mescaline. Mescaline induces altered states of consciousness, including visual and auditory hallucinations, which have historically been integral to spiritual and ceremonial practices among various Native American tribes. For these communities, peyote is not merely a plant, but a sacred element in their religious rites and cultural heritage. The legal status of peyote in the United States is complex, primarily due to its classification under the Controlled Substances Act. Mescaline, the psychoactive component of peyote, is listed as a Schedule I substance, indicating a high potential for abuse, no accepted medical use, and a lack of accepted safety for use under medical supervision. As a result, the cultivation, possession, and use of peyote are generally illegal for the general population. However, there are specific legal exemptions for the use of peyote in religious contexts, particularly for members of the Native American Church, NAC, the American Indian Religious Freedom Act, AARFA, of 1978, and subsequent amendments such as the 1994 Amendment to AARFA protect the rights of Native Americans to use peyote in traditional religious ceremonies. These exemptions recognize the cultural and spiritual significance of peyote to Native American tribes and aim to preserve their religious practices. Under these legal protections, members of federally recognized Native American tribes who are also members of the NAC can legally grow, harvest, possess, and use peyote for bona fide religious ceremonies. These exemptions are strictly regulated to ensure that the use of peyote remains within the bounds of religious practice and does not extend to non-ceremonial use. The NAC is responsible for overseeing the distribution and use of peyote among its members, ensuring compliance with federal regulations. Despite these protections, the peyote cactus faces conservation concerns due to overharvesting and habitat destruction. Efforts to sustainably harvest and cultivate peyote are essential to preserving this sacred plant for future generations. Conservation initiatives, often supported by Native American tribes and environmental organizations, aim to balance the religious needs of the NAC with ecological sustainability. Giant hogweed is a formidable plant, notorious for both its invasive tendencies and the serious health risks it poses. Native to the Caucasus region and Central Asia, giant hogweed was introduced to Europe and North America as an ornamental plant due to its impressive stature and striking appearance. However, it soon became apparent that this plant was more trouble than its aesthetic appeal justified. One of the most alarming characteristics of giant hogweed is its sap, which contains photosensitizing compounds known as furanocoumarins. When this sap comes into contact with human skin and is subsequently exposed to sunlight, it can cause severe photodermatitis. This condition results in painful blisters, which can develop into long-lasting scars. The affected skin can remain sensitive to sunlight for years, making outdoor activities uncomfortable or even dangerous for those who have been exposed. The size of giant hogweed is also remarkable. It can grow up to 14 feet tall, with leaves that can span up to 5 feet in width. Its large, umbrella-like clusters of white flowers can reach a diameter of 2.5 feet, making it easy to spot but also challenging to manage. The plant's size and prolific seed production contribute to its invasiveness, allowing it to outcompete native flora and dominate ecosystems. Due to its invasive nature and the health hazards it poses, giant hogweed is classified as a noxious weed in many states across the U.S. This classification makes it illegal to cultivate, sell, or transport the plant. The aggressive spread of giant hogweed can disrupt local ecosystems, reducing biodiversity and altering habitats for wildlife. Its robust root system can cause soil erosion and damage to infrastructure, further highlighting the need for effective control measures. Efforts to control and eradicate giant hogweed are crucial for protecting both public health and the environment. Control methods typically involve mechanical removal, such as cutting and digging up the plants, but this must be done with great care to avoid contact with the sap. Chemical treatments with herbicides are also used, especially for large infestations. Public awareness campaigns and educational programs are essential to inform people about the dangers of giant hogweed and to encourage reporting of sightings to local authorities. Kudzu, often referred to as the vine that ate the South, is a highly invasive plant native to Japan and Southeast China. It was introduced to the United States in the late 19th century, initially promoted for erosion control and as a forage crop. However, kudzu's rapid growth rate and aggressive spreading nature quickly became apparent. This plant can grow up to a foot per day during the growing season, smothering trees, shrubs, and other native vegetation in its path. Its ability to spread through both seeds and vegetative means, such as rooting at nodes along the vines, allows it to cover large areas rapidly. The ecological impact of kudzu is profound. It disrupts native ecosystems by outcompeting and displacing native plant species, leading to a loss of biodiversity. Kudzu's dense growth can block sunlight, preventing native plants from photosynthesizing and ultimately killing them. This not only affects plant diversity, but also the animals that depend on native plants for food and habitat. Furthermore, kudzu can damage infrastructure by engulfing power lines, buildings, and roadsides, leading to additional economic costs for removal and maintenance. Due to these significant ecological and economic threats, kudzu is classified as a noxious weed in several states, including Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, and South Carolina. These states have enacted regulations to control and eradicate kudzu, prohibiting its cultivation and mandating its removal. Control measures include mechanical removal, herbicide application, and prescribed burning, but these methods require ongoing effort due to the plant's persistent nature. Efforts to manage kudzu are crucial to prevent further ecological damage and to protect native biodiversity. Public awareness and participation in control programs are essential components of these efforts, as kudzu continues to pose a formidable challenge to conservation and land management in affected areas. Bitter apple, also known as colocynth, is a plant known for its extremely toxic properties. Native to the Mediterranean basin and Asia, it produces small, round fruits that are deceptively similar to small watermelons. Despite its appearance, the bitter apple is highly toxic due to the presence of compounds like cucurbitacins, which are potent chemical substances found in the plant's fruits and roots. Ingesting even a small amount of bitter apple can cause severe gastrointestinal distress, including vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. In more serious cases, it can lead to dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, and even death, particularly if consumed in large quantities or if medical treatment is delayed. The plant's toxicity poses significant risks not only to humans but also to animals that might accidentally ingest it. Due to these dangers, the cultivation of bitter apple is restricted in many regions. Authorities aim to prevent accidental ingestion by humans or animals and mitigate the risks associated with its potent toxicity. Bitter apple has no significant agricultural or horticultural value, and its presence in gardens or agricultural areas is discouraged. Additionally, the plant's bitter taste and toxic effects have historically limited its use to traditional medicine in controlled, very small doses, which are not recommended due to the high risk of poisoning. Modern medicinal practices do not recognize it as safe or effective for any treatment, further contributing to its illegal status in many areas. Absinthe wormwood is a plant historically used in the production of absinthe, an alcoholic beverage that gained notoriety for its supposed hallucinogenic effects. This reputation is largely due to the presence of thujone, a chemical compound found in wormwood that can be toxic in high doses, and was once believed to cause convulsions and other neurological effects. Thujone interacts with the GABA receptors in the brain, potentially leading to excitatory responses which were mistaken for hallucinogenic properties. Absinthe itself, after being banned in many countries for decades, has been legalized in the United States since 2007, but with strict regulations regarding its thujone content. The law allows absinthe to be sold and consumed as long as it contains less than 10 parts per million, ppm, of thujone, ensuring that it does not pose a significant health risk. This legal threshold is set to prevent the production and distribution of absinthe with high thujone levels, which could potentially be harmful if consumed in large quantities. Despite the legalization of Absinthe with regulated thujone levels, the cultivation of wormwood specifically for the production of high thujone absinthe remains restricted. This is due to concerns over the potential misuse and production of unregulated absinthe, which could exceed safe thujone limits. The restrictions are aimed at preventing individuals from creating homemade or artisanal absinthe that might not adhere to safety standards, thereby posing health risks to consumers. In the past, absinthe was associated with various health issues and was blamed for a range of medical conditions, leading to its prohibition in several countries. Modern research, however, has debunked many of these myths, showing that the risks were often exaggerated. Nevertheless, the regulated control of thujone content remains a precautionary measure to ensure consumer safety and to mitigate any risks associated with its consumption. Poison hemlock is an exceptionally dangerous plant known for its high toxicity, which can lead to severe health issues and even death. All parts of the plant contain toxic alkaloids, such as conine and gamma-conosine, which can disrupt the central nervous system. These alkaloids are potent neurotoxins that interfere with the neurotransmitter function, leading to respiratory failure, paralysis, and in severe cases, death. Historically, poison hemlock gained infamy as the plant used to execute the philosopher Socrates in ancient Greece. Its highly toxic nature makes it a significant concern for public health and safety today. The plant is biennial, meaning it takes 2 years to complete its life cycle and can grow up to 10 feet tall, featuring finely divided leaves and small white flowers arranged in umbrella-like clusters. The primary danger of poison hemlock lies in its appearance, which can be mistaken for other edible plants such as parsley or wild carrots, Queen Anne's lace. This resemblance increases the risk of accidental ingestion, particularly among foragers and children. Ingesting even a small amount of poison hemlock can result in severe symptoms, including trembling, salivation, dilated pupils, muscle paralysis, and respiratory distress. Without prompt medical intervention, respiratory failure can occur, leading to death. Due to its extreme toxicity, poison hemlock is classified as a noxious weed in many regions across the United States. This classification mandates its control and eradication to prevent accidental poisonings and protect public health. Many states have implemented strict regulations to manage its spread, and efforts are continually made to educate the public about its dangers. Eradication of poison hemlock typically involves mechanical removal, such as digging up the plants, ensuring that the roots are also removed to prevent regrowth. Herbicides may also be used in certain areas to control larger infestations. It is crucial to handle the plant with care, wearing protective clothing and gloves to avoid skin contact with its toxic sap. Given the severe health risks associated with poison hemlock, its cultivation is illegal, and ongoing efforts to control and eradicate the plant are essential. Public awareness campaigns and educational initiatives play a vital role in preventing accidental poisonings and ensuring that people can identify and avoid this hazardous plant. Understanding the risks and taking appropriate measures can help protect individuals and communities from the dangers posed by poison hemlock. Staying informed about plant regulations is essential for any gardener. Check local and federal regulations regularly, as these can change and vary by location. Resources such as government websites, local agricultural extensions, and gardening organizations offer up-to-date information and guidance. For those looking to avoid legal issues, consider planting safe and legal alternatives that provide similar benefits without the legal risks. Subscribe to Garden Bound to become a part of the community. Until next time, happy gardening.